Good day, YouTube. How you all doing? Um, my subject today is about faith. Now, faith is really essential in life. It is so essential that without it, people either cave in despair, they'll enter into the cave of despair, or they're able to see the horizon in hope. And faith and hope go hand in hand. The Bible says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. The way that faith seems to actually work, uh, in general, is that there's two things happens with it. It forms substance. It's like somebody can actually have nothing really happen in their life, and that something kicks in inside of them. A switch turns on, and then they have the substance. That substance begins to enter into their brain, begins to enter into the thoughts. They, out of nowhere, they feel fulfilled. They feel a sense of something's happening, and that's something. It means that it's not a no thing. It's a something. That's substance. Now, the aftermath of substance is evidence. That is now manifestation. And in all due respect, the more that we were made as human beings never to ever be alone. We were made to basically be part of. Now, even though people go off on their own and they go and they kind of become a loner, they're still part of something big essentially. And we as human beings, however we find whatever we require in life, it's got to come through faith. Now, what faith does, faith connects you. It's like the umbilical cord. It basically comes, it attaches itself to you, but it also becomes like a straight arrow. It takes you, the soul, the person, and it connects you. And what happens at that point is that what you didn't see, now you see. Where the Bible says again is that it says through of old people obtained promises. They had many great things happen to them because of this principle called faith. The Bible even says that without faith, it's impossible to please God. For the one who comes to God must believe that he is, and he's the rewarder of those who diligently seek him. Now, here's the interesting thing. The more a person is lacking faith, the more you will find them in the place either, it probably will go into that place first, of desperation. Now, faith works perfectly. It's like its brother's close brother with humility. The most of the times when people operate outside of faith is because they have so many people, or they will have different people or situations in their life that accommodates them. So they never really have the opportunity to have faith more than a person who's need answers right now. And different people throughout the walks of life, they're able to start businesses. Yeah, they've done research that basically shown that they said two different types of people can open up a business on a street, and one business will thrive, whereas the other business won't. And they really started to research, and they started to look at these people, and they discovered that the people who had this strength, this thing called faith operational inside of them, it began to attach itself. It's like an atmosphere, and it began to bring in not only customers but the right customers. Faith has the power to put you ahead. It has the power to go onward, upward, forward. It is a power on its own. It says by faith God framed the actual foundations of the earth through his faith. Jesus, when he came along, he didn't say have faith in God. He said have the faith of God. See, there's a big difference between having human faith. When it goes crashing down, when you actually have to attach yourself to the master architect, then you enter into a different kind of faith. That's called living faith. And it's powerful. I've had a few occasions. I mean, I've had times where I've had to get really, really when that faith is being tested, and you're going, man, is it ever going to change? And you got to have the good confession. You got to say, look, I've seen God do things in my life before, and I've seen things work for people who didn't even believe in God, but they had the faith. See, God God works through it because He made us in His image. It's resident in every single person. It is so potent. It is so powerful. And you know, in my life in general, even a lot of people I've spoken to, that they said that the thing is about faith is that it doesn't hypnotize you. It has no ability whatsoever to get you into a place of a trance or fool you. It changes your direction. It changes your perspective. It changes you as a person. And you know, another thing that true faith does to people, it makes you become faithful. It changes your character. It moves upon your character. The people who, and you know, the amazing thing is that they've even done shows. You've watched American Idol or some of these other shows. The people who are the most honest human and the most modest, they would get up there and they'd blow everyone away. They would just like, you go, where did this even come from? And those people, when they enter onto the stage, they kicked in there with their faith. They kicked in because faith does something else. It gives you meaning. It takes your very life and it puts you in the meaning place. It's purposeful. It has so many directives to it as you are allowing it in, and it introduces itself to you. It's a very royal gift for a person to have in their life, a person who has the gift of faith. Now, God basically says that the one who wants to have this kind of wisdom and this faith, just come to Him. Just come to ask Him for that faith. Jesus. Now, here's the most amazing. I remember reading this. You know, that people will say, "Well, why God? Why didn't God do this for me? Why didn't God do that for me? Why didn't this happen? Why didn't it happen?" You know, there was a time there. Here's the Creator down here on the earth, and just the potency, the damaging effect of the enemy of faith is unbelief. It said that Jesus, after He was doing all these miracles, He went into His hometown. Here's two things about faith. Number one, He said He could not do many mighty works there because of their unbelief. Their unbelief. God was never limited to begin with, but their unbelief limited Him. Now here's the other thing. It said that he went into the ones that He knew the most, and they dishonored Him. So part of unbelief also has the power to limit you. If you're a person of faith and you actually want to have good things happen in your life, you have to really, really deal and be very aware of people, the hearsay people, the come see, come saw. The people goes, well, maybe God will, maybe God won't, or maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. Those people you don't want to have nothing to really do with when you need faith. And when you actually need something to happen, God will take need and He will turn it into thankfulness. Because you know another thing with faith? Faith is not like the language of need. It does not like need because it's already there with so much abundance. So as we grow and as we learn as human beings, especially in the avenue of faith, there's three abide. It says that it's faith, hope, and love. Now here's a beautiful thing. It said the Bible says that love works through faith. So another thing that God will actually work on you on, and look, we all have need. We all have a requirement. I don't like to use the word need. We all have a requirement in our lives, so we all have to be in a place that we have a time to reflect, a time to take inventory as what has become of us. What have we accumulated in our lives that has become the resistor of faith, hope, and love? And when you ever hit in any situation, you will discover more or less what has happened is that faith was not operation in your life. It was assumption. It wasn't real faith. And I don't like it myself. I'll tell you something. The best place anybody can ever be is when they're actually eating humble pie. Because I tell you, man, it makes you so aware. It changes your character and it turns you into a decent human being. Because when you're humbled, man, That's when faith kicks in, and God will always listen to the prayers of the humble. But He says the proud He will always resist. So, getting back to faith, if you need faith today for anything, I would advise you, one, get on your knees, just spend a good 30, press past, and there'll come a place, because I've had it. There comes a place of stillness. Something begins to happen around you, your environment, and something starts to kick in, and then what you never were able to even, how can I put it, see or even sense, all of a sudden becomes aware. You become aware of it. You're going, oh, I never thought of that. You know, and this is God answer. You go, oh, I never thought to do that. Really? You know, and then the next day, boom, things start happening. You go, wow. I remember one time I was going through a really tough time. But I always kept that. Every morning I always say, God, you know what's going on today, and man, if whatever's going on inside of me, please, I don't want it to prevent me from having your best for my life. And I remember this morning I got up and I put on the radio, and just as I turned around, this song came on. And it was like this, and there's quite a few instances I've had, but this is one special morning, and the song went like this: ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things gonna get better. And you know, the interesting thing, the next day, I got an offer. I got an offer for a job. And all the unbelief and all the concerns and all the worrying and all the heaviness just kind of lifted off immediately. And that's the beauty of faith. That's what faith does. That's what the faith of God does. Because He loves us. So He's more than happy. And you know what's a beautiful thing about it? Is that you get an opportunity to experience God working on your behalf. It makes you feel really good. And another thing is that don't forget, always remain thankful, and remain thankful after that miracle happens. It's a good thing. So on that, I will just say thank you very much. It's a beautiful sunny day, and I mean, you know, look at the little white fluff flowing around me right now. You know, another thing that's really cool is when you start doing a God talk, God starts walking around your environment. It's really interesting. I've seen it quite a few times. I've had my room literally lit up at times. I went, am I imagining things? It's like really bright in here. And that's God. It's so beautiful, right? Because He cares about us, man. He doesn't want us to be losers. What makes us losers is that we got stuff put into us that taught us how to lose. God is a winner, man. That's why He died on the cross. And that's why He was resurrected. And His intention is that we become winners because we were made in His image. So in that, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. There's so much stuff going on inside of you, and all it takes is a key. The key to open up the door, and boom, there you go. You're made of the right stuff. You just got to access it. Have a great day.